Well, you know, last year, we called Amon Newman was killed, shot 21 times by FBI agents. Also, there was some police involvement too. But they've been doing this for a long time. You know, this is not just isolated incidents. This happened last week. I mean, look at go back to Paul Robeson. There, how they you know, investigated him, spied on him, and put his colleagues and him, you know, on the so-called red list. You know, and he got the communist trials and all that. And you look at all the struggle of my people against racism and also against imperialism, period. You know, we all been targeted by that. Just now they're getting a little antsy because the situation, the economical situation here, and also, like you mentioned before, they're actually losing wars. You know, abroad in Afghanistan, the fight with guns has been going on for years. You know, with the drug trafficking, and also the fascist government over there, you know, suppressing the people that's supported by the United States. So, you know, if you're anybody here, you got, if you're anti-capitalism, you know, against racism and imperialism, that's going to happen to you. You're on the road, you know. So that didn't surprise me. Look how they framed the media in the W.
That's right.
You know, you know, you just got to stick together, and we have to raise the gun against them.
Okay. That's what may come. I mean, what Kevin said is certainly true, that we all know that witch hunts and repression have been historic in the U.S. I was just reading a book over the weekend about the life of Ernie Goodman, and it traces all the different stages of witch hunts that have gone from their 40s to the 50s. And of course, during the Bush administration, we saw a real expansion of the role of the state in repressing people with domestic spying programs, Guantanamo being set up as a virtual concentration camp for anyone that they wanted to label a terrorist and who had no due process rights whatsoever. And I think people believed that the Obama administration would at least signal somewhat of a change in terms of these policies, because he talked about it. He's supposedly a constitutional lawyer. But in fact, there's no change. I mean, recently, Eric Holder, who's the Attorney General for Obama, brought a lawsuit against the humanitarian aid organization to redefine the definition of material aid. So material aid is no longer giving money, it's speech. That if you talk to a group, essentially, they've defined material aid in such a broad way, and maybe this case is a way for them to test out the parameters of that decision. It's called Holder versus Humanitarian Law Association, and it was brought by the administration. It was an offensive action by the Attorney General to broaden the definition of material aid, to use it more broadly to attack people's democratic rights. My brother's been involved in a case to challenge the domestic spying program that was initiated by Bush, and it was initially, he represented Arab Charity that was spied on, and they could actually establish it was spied on. And originally it was a case against the Bush administration, and then when Obama came, it became a case against Obama. And they went to the people who propagated the FBI, and so restrictive, and they asked them, well, who's giving you the orders? And they said, these orders come from the top levels of the Obama administration. So it isn't just the FBI or Justice Department running amok. It's coming right from the Obama administration. And today I was reading the New York Times had a front page article that they're going to try to figure out a way that to make the internet more accessible to spying, so that they can figure out a way to wiretap the internet better. And they're going to figure out a way to make that mandatory for every internet provider. So I just say that to say that everything that people said is exactly right, that this flows from the crisis of capitalism. It flows from the character of capitalism, which is an inherently anti-democratic system with a veneer of democracy to confuse the masses of people. And it comes at a time when the system's in decay, when they're losing in Afghanistan, they're losing in Iraq, and they're losing all over Latin America, and we hope they'll be losing here a lot more. But also, we shouldn't be deceived by the Democrats being an alternative or having a different view of this than the Bush administration. We all viewed the Bush people as a bunch of crazed nuts, but the fact is that the Obama administration has carried on the exact same, and it's not just carried on, has intensified. The repressive aspect of the state is intensifying under Obama, and who knows, maybe this is their way to test it out on a more broad arena, and that's why it's so important. This case is so critical. And really, we should look. Anyone who can go October 5th, that's so important. Because, as he said, a grand jury, I've never dealt with a grand jury myself, but a grand jury is an inherently repressive and intimidating process. That's what it's there for. That's what it's used for witch hunts. And we should be there. Because the way to stop the grand jury is to stop the grand jury. Just what Tom said. That it has no right to meet. And anyone who can go on the 5th, we should get a carload and we should be there. And on the 16th, we should mobilize to go to Chicago as an organization. And I just want to really emphasize what was said before, because we can expect visits, right? We do the same work. That we have a very fraternal relationship with the organizers here, because we do the same work. We support the PFLP, and we support FARC, and we defended Hezbollah, and we're not ashamed to say it. And we can expect those same visits. And when you get visited, no, you don't talk to the FBI. It's a mistake. And if you got to have them call a lawyer, you can call me, okay? I have no problem being called. But no one has to be visited. Hey, we got visited a couple of years ago during an auto worker protest. Chris and I got visited to Delphi workers having an auto worker protest, and they came to our house because they knew we were radicals. They figured it must be, it's always in the back of their minds, there must be a communist behind you, that's how they think. And what did Chris do? Chris slammed the door in their face. And they were back at our home that evening, at our garage, and they were standing outside my garage while I pulled that opener and made sure they couldn't come in, because they have no right to talk to you. You don't have to talk to them, and if you talk to them, you're opening the door for them.
Right.
You're opening the door for them. So, and we all should be on alert. Who knows who's going to get visited? You can't predict it. So we should all be on alert. If the FBI comes, no. If they want to go in your house, show you a warrant. They can't enter your house without a search warrant. If you need them, if you want to tell them to call a lawyer, they can call me. They can call George. I'm sure they can call us. There are lawyers here who'll back you on it. But really be tight on that. It's really important, because otherwise they'll use that. I think we should anticipate that. And who knows whose house it's going to be? Who the hell knows? There's no method to their madness, and we should be tight on this and know it. I mean, those of us who have been in a struggle know it, but it's hard to do that. You know, it's intimidating a little bit. But don't be intimidated. We have each other's back. And that's what's so wonderful, that the movement is united. We all have each other's back, you know, and we're going to have each other's back in this struggle to fight this.
I kind of sympathize with you, because I told the second be my third year being out of jail for terrorism. They tried to give me 20 years for just cussing a lawyer out on the phone. Really, I was letting them know how the probate court just rip off everybody. I mean, they goes and take dead people money. I mean, you can stay in there for years and years until they rip off your family. I mean, they ripped my family off at least over $1 million already right now. But I was supposing the corruption was going on there. But nevertheless, you have prison being built up in the United States right now. The United States know that the internet gave us access to everything, what's truth and what lies in the media. Everybody watch CNN and watch MSNBC. They're owned by General Electric, by the war people. Right. And they get dumbfounded. And they know that since they took our money from the tax money, they know sooner or later we're going to rally up. They know we got guns. They know that. So they trying to come out at us any way they can, because sooner or later people are going to be mad when they start losing their houses, losing their pensions, they try to privatize Social Security. Sooner or later, the people that we're going to be after is going to be the people like the Senate, Congressman, and the President. Because it's already got people right now. They don't show it on regular news. They are already going after Obama everywhere he goes. I'm talking about anti-gay. You got the black people movement disrupting his town hall meeting. You got the anti-war. You got everybody. And they've taken some people out of there because they're disrupting, because people is getting tired of getting tired. And they know that 2% cannot control this 98%. This might be almost like the French Revolution when it comes down to it. Sooner or later, they're gonna